Good morning, everybody. Today is March 14th, 2026. Welcome to Suzie Q Stamping Sketch Card Saturday. My name is Sue Sanders, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Lake Ozark, Missouri. And I am so glad that you've joined me this morning. I want to go over a few things before we get into our sketch card. First of all, don't forget that this is the product of the month for March, and it is the really cute little Notes of Spring stamp set. You can purchase this for $5 when you order $75 or more in one order this month. So don't forget to do that if you're putting in an order. Second of all, if you have not purchased from me in the last 6 months as your demonstrator, please let me know, and I will be happy to send you a new catalog when those come out. I will need to know by March 27th so that I can put you on my list to automatically email or send you a catalog. All of my current customers that have ordered from me in the last 6 months, you're automatically on my list, and so you will be getting that new catalog in the mail. And I'll give you more information on that at a later time. Okay, so I am really excited. This week started yesterday on the 12th, was on stage with Stampin' Up!, and it is out in Long Beach, California. Unfortunately, I'm not able to attend this year because of my grandson's wedding. So I opted not to go on 3 major trips this year. But I have seen a lot of new products being posted by other demonstrators, and they're posting them in sites that should not be available for the general customer base, but they may be. I don't know. I always kept my stuff a secret. But I've seen some amazing new products that are going to be debuting in our May catalog. So I'm really excited about that, and I cannot wait until the pre-order opens up in April. All right, if you are interested in being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and getting some perks like seeing new products before other people can, receiving a discount on your orders, I would love to welcome you to my team, Suzie Q Stamping. There is a link out on my website on Stampin' Up! That you are able to go to join, and I would love to have you join my team. All right, so let's get into today's project. As I'm looking at this, I just realized that I really do need to stamp with my glasses on because I'm getting a little crooked in my eyesight. But this is our card sketch. So it's just a few pieces of paper, and you can use designer series paper or cardstock, whatever you want to do, but it's a great way to use up some of those little tiny scraps for these strips. So you will need to have a card base that is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Then you will need to have a mat, and the mat size is 3.5 by 4 1/4. I'm sorry, 4 3/4. And these measurements will be down in the description for you. And then you need 3 strips that are 4.5 by 1 inch. All right, and then I'm going to show you how you can dress this up a little bit more, but this is just a basic sketch, and you can put ribbon or another piece of paper across here, any shape that you'd want for your greeting on the front, but this is just a very basic sketch. Okay, so let's set that over to the side. And let's get started on the one that I'm going to demonstrate for you today. We are going to be using some retired product simply because it's in the colors that I'm needing. So I have here, I'm going to be using some circle dies from the Stylish Shape Dies. And I am using some paper, some designer series paper, and that comes from this really pretty set, Nature Walk. So let me show you what this paper contains. I am actually making a get well card for my brother today. He had surgery, unbeknownst to me, on Monday. So I'm going to be using this print here. But on the back side of this, it has just a checkered, and that's in crumb cake and pecan pie. Then we have this piece that is balmy blue, and let's see, what does the coordinating papers on here is balmy blue, blueberry bushel, cloud cover, crumb cake, garden green, lost lagoon, mossy meadow, night of navy, old olive, pecan pie, pretty peacock, and secret sea. So there's a lot of the neutral colors, I think, that are in this pack. So here's the piece, and on the back side is this real dark blue piece. Then we have some greens, and then this looks like the secret sea on the back. It's the same as that. Here's another piece that's got all those greens in it. Just beautiful for masculine cards. And then here is our flirty flamingo, not flirty flamingo. What was I thinking? Pretty peacock. They're both birds, right? Flamingos, peacocks. You both see them at the zoo, right? That's the same as that one. I've already seen this piece. Here's another one that's got just splots. Looks kind of like that bokeh technique with the dark greens and things. And then this side over here. Very nice nature, outdoorsy type. And we've seen that one. I think we've seen them all then. Nope. Here's one with the pretty peacock and this sheet here that has the pattern on it. So really nice paper pack. That is in the January to April mini catalog. As far as I know, at the time of the recording, it was still available. So if you like this paper, go out and get it sooner rather than later, because as April gets here, more of the product that is in that mini catalog will be discontinued, or they will not have it anymore. So if you like this paper, be sure to go out and order you a pack or two if you really, really like it. All right. So here is my cards, and I'm using crumb cake for my card base. So again, that is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I do have a piece of very vanilla that is cut at 4 by 5 1/4 to go on the inside of my card. My mat that is the 3.5 by 4 3/4, and then my 3 strips. And when I cut this pattern paper, I kind of cut it to where the words were all lined up. So you can get 2 pieces out of a 1" by 12 strip, and then you just cut the next strip and use the top piece on that. So let's go ahead and lay down these. I'm just going to use my, I'll get my tape runner here. Maybe it's got enough tape in it for today. I don't know. So what has everybody been up to lately? Would love to know, so please comment. Even though I'm not here live with you, I come back and I read the comments. I get notified when people put comments up there. So I'm interested to know what you've been working on, if you've been working on any special cards. And I find sometimes it's easier, and I'm not going to press it all the way down so that if I have to lift it up, I can get it back up relatively easy. I have been very busy doing several things. Our Blue Star Mothers chapter is going to have a spaghetti dinner on April 11th. So I'm going to be getting ready to make centerpieces for our tables. And then let's see, what else have I done this week? I have taken some time for me and just kind of did some relaxing after I worked. I have 24 schools that I have contacted in a probably anywhere from a 75 to 100-mile radius for our chapter to do honor cords to those graduating seniors who are entering the military. So we present them with a certificate and a red, white, and blue honor cord. And we kind of make it special for them. All right, so I've got all those schools contacted, and a lot of them have reached back out to me and have given me names, but I still have several that need to give me the names because we start that April 14th, and then it will go through all the way 3 weeks into May. So we'll be very busy then. All right, since this is a Get Well card, I am using the, where did I get my, oh, here we go. From the Friendly Foliage, I am using the Get Well Soon sentiment, and it's too big to fit on my circle, so I am just going to do the Get Well first. I'm going to mask off the Soon with a piece of Post-it note. I'm not always super great at just inking the part that I want. A lot of times it just kind of gives me a headache. So we're gonna try this. That's kind of big. We're not gonna do one quite that big. So let's just tear that in half. I don't need all that left over. And put this on there again. There, that's much better. More manageable for me. So we're going to ink up in our pecan pie, Get Well. Don't forget to take your paper off or you're going to have a mess on your paper that you stamp. And I'm going to put Get Well kind of towards the top there. And now I'm going to take another piece and cover up that Get Well and put Soon underneath it. So I don't know if you all have heard yet, but we are going to have some changes coming to Stampin' Up! Here in the next couple of months. One of those changes is going to be new ink pads. And I was kind of hesitant until I watched a video about it, and I believe I shared that with you all last week on my video. But they were going to be magnetic pads, so they'll be easier to open for those of us that have arthritis in our hands and have difficulty with the ink pads that we have now. So now I'm just going to put Get Well Soon underneath. And there we have that. Dorothy, would you please get me the old olive? I think I'm going to put a little sprig down here after I've thought about it here. Out of that same set, it's got this little leaf stamp, and I'm going to stamp that kind of off in olive green, or an old olive, I'm sorry. So anyway, there's going to be some new ink pads coming. They're going to start with the new ink colors for 26, 28. That's another thing. If you all really love the colors that was 24 to 26, it had Peach Pie, Shy Shamrock, Summer Splash, Petunia Pop, and Pretty in Pink. Oops, didn't mean to drop that and hurt y'all's ears. Get those refills and any paper that you might want with that, because those will be discontinued. And a lot of times, like I said, around this time, those products seem to be flying off the shelves. So I'd hate for you to miss that. I'm just going to take this little sprig here and I'm just going to stamp it down here at the bottom, just to kind of fill up that little bit down there. All right, while we've got this out, let me go ahead. I'm going to stamp on the inside of this, thinking of you, and you are on my mind and in my heart. Okay, so while we've got the ink out, we're going to do the same thing with that. Put them on some blocks. I don't know, I may have shared this a long time ago, but when you get your new stamps that are the photopolymer, sometimes they might have a film on them that, and that's from the manufacturing aspect of it. But if you just take your finger and you kind of rub across that or put it in the palm of your hand, you can do different stamping. You can just ink it up and stamp it over and over again for a while. And that kind of takes that film off so that you don't have the pooling of your inks. So I'll show you here what I mean. Of course, will it cooperate with me today? Probably not. So that I can show you what I am talking about. So I did not condition this one. And because it's small, it may not show. I don't think this one's pooling, so that was good. All right, so we're going to do Thinking of You first. But sometimes you can see little bubbles, and it happens a lot of times on the real intricate stamps, like flower stamps and what have you. All right, so Thinking of You, put that up at the top. And then I'm going to come in with You've Been on My Mind and In My Heart. Stamp that underneath there. And then again, I'm going to take that little leaf and I'm just going to add a little bit of green down here to the inside of my card. All right, so that's a nice little Thinking of You card to get well, wishing you well. All right, now what we're going to do is put this on the inside of our card. And I would like to know who is watching that is Team Glue, that you like to work with the glue, or Team Tape Runner. All right, now I'm going to take my ribbon that I have here, and I'm going to wind it around the bottom. Okay, and it's kind of a very vanilla, and it's got the pecan pie running through it. So do I want to use this side, I think? And I'm just going to cut it off. And then I'm going to attach this around the bottom of my card. And did you know that you can use either Scotch tape, just regular old Scotch tape, to adhere your little tails down? Or I'm finding that I have lots of the double-sided tear tape, and so I'm using that, and I just take a little piece, tear it off, and then I put that down to keep my ribbon tight and in place. Like so. So there is our ribbon. Got it a little crooked, so we're going to pick it up and we're going to fix that. And it's okay if that tape came off of that, because we're going to take it off anyway when we go to stick this down on our card front. Like I said, this is a really simple, easy sketch, but you can make it so elaborate, if that's the word I want to use, or you can really change it up a lot if you want to, and do several things with it. Okay. So now we have that laid down. Now I've got two of the circles. I've got one that's out of crumb cake and one that's out of the very vanilla that I stamped on, and we're going to attach those two. like so. Then we're going to attach our bigger circle down here in the corner, like so. Okay, and I'm going to show you on the next card because I used smaller circles, but then you could take, and since this is for a guy, I don't really want to put a bow on it, but I'm going to put a knot. I'm just going to cut off a little bit of the ribbon, and I'm going to slide that through my piece there, and then I'm just going to tie a square knot. Of course, if my fingers will cooperate with me. Like I said, my hands are starting to get really achy whenever I'm trying to do things like this anymore. Okay, so get that all straightened out and pull the left-hand side. There's our pretty little knot. Trim off our tails. All right, so there we go. And now we're gonna use some embellishments. These are retired. They were from last year with the textured notes, but they have kind of the same color theme going on. So I've got some of the pecan pie, and we're going to attach some of those. We're going to take one of the little ones, and we're just going to put it kind of up there. And we'll take a smaller one and put it here on our greeting. And then I think I'll take a bigger one and I'll put it kind of there at the top also, so that it kind of draws your eye to the front of that card. So let me know what you think about this sketch. Let me show you another card that I made using the same sketch. So I used Pretty Peacock and some of the other paper that's retiring, I think. I can't keep all this in my head anymore. But this is just a because card, and I haven't decided what I'm going to put on the inside yet. And it opens up like this way. Okay, so those are the two cards that I have to show you today. Here is our basic sketch. So, like I said, you can do anything to make this sketch a big wow card if you wanted to, or you can keep it very simple, and it'll still be having the same effect. It'll bring a smile to somebody's face. All right, don't forget, hit the like and share button for this video. That way it gets more people to watch me and make comments. And I will see you again on next Saturday, which is Saturday the 21st. Okay? And all of the directions will be listed down below in the description of this YouTube video. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Have a great week.